guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today for another pick a card video. For those of you guys who are new to my channel, welcome in. My name is Melissa and welcome back to my 14 Days of Love video series. Today we are on day 7 and I am so excited to do this video. Really what I was inspired to do is record this video for my singles out there. Those of you who are wanting to attract in a relationship, maybe those of you who are out there dating and connecting with people. What I want to get for you guys today is, what vibe are you putting out to your potential love interests? How are these love interests perceiving you? What is their perception? What's the energy they're getting off of you? I think this can just be really helpful to help us build a little bit of self-awareness and just make sure that we're putting out the type of vibe that we want to put out, okay? So keep in mind, you guys, these are general in nature, so take whatever resonates with you and just leave behind anything that doesn't. If you guys are curious to book a personal reading, which would give you a more accurate snapshot of your specific energy, all the details on how you guys can do that are in the description down below. Also, just keep in mind, you guys, not set in stone here. If you guys see something in this reading that you don't love, this doesn't mean this is the end-all be-all. This is the only energy that you're ever going to exude to your love interests. You can have the free will to switch it up. And that's kind of why I decided to record this video, you guys, because, you know, sometimes we don't know how people are perceiving us. And so this can be a good little temperature check to see where you're at. And if you guys feel like you want to switch stuff up, you can do that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our card selection. So here we have pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's take a deep breath. Think about yourself. Think about how your love interests are perceiving you. Go ahead and select the card or crystal that you're feeling the most intuitively guided to. Timestamps are linked below so that you can fast forward to your reading. Hey guys, so if you chose pile 1, which is this little rhodonite crystal, let's go ahead and see what kind of vibes you guys are putting out there into the world. Let's see how your love interests are perceiving you. This is so fun. I'm excited to do this for you guys. All right, so we're starting off with the Color Mage Oracle. So we have the message of pink, Gari, which says courageous sexuality. We have Dusty Rose. And then we have Goldenrod. So beautiful, bright, vibrant energies, pile 1, right off the bat. I definitely think that you are somebody who is really giving off a very just like beautiful vibe. Like, I'm definitely getting a lot of people look at you. A lot of people find you really, really attractive and confident. I feel like you guys are the type of person that whenever you walk into a room, people just look at you. Like, they're like, who is that? Now, I think on a more intimate level, something that I'm seeing here is that your love interests, people who are interested in you, not only do they find you physically attractive and confident in yourself, I feel like they also view you as being very kind of emotionally mature, because the Dusty Rose is all about your love is aged. So I think of emotional maturity or just maturity in general. I think you guys probably handle situations that come up with grace and confidence, and it's like not the biggest deal in the world if something isn't going well, okay? Stay committed. This is just telling me that people are viewing you as someone who is consistent as well, which kind of ties in with that emotional maturity. So I feel like when you guys are dating, you do have a tendency to stay committed, right? Like, you do the right thing. But definitely just initial impressions here, pile 1, is I'm getting a lot of confident energy, but also just feeling like you guys are very mature and putting out like a very elevated presence to your love interests. So we have the 9 of Wands, the 3 of Cups, love it. And then we have the Moon card. So I definitely think with this 9 of Wands that sometimes you guys may come across a little bit guarded. And this is very natural. This is something that happens when we've been hurt in the past. So I definitely can see how at times people who are interested in you may view you or perceive you as being just like a little bit standoffish. You have a guard up a little bit. It might take a little bit of building of trust for people to really be allowed into your space. And with this Three of Cups energy, again, I'm getting a lot of that fun energy, especially with this yellow right here. So I definitely think that on the surface, people are viewing you as being really fun, really friendly, just someone that they can enjoy time with. I'm also getting a lot of support energy here, which kind of goes back to that idea of emotional maturity. So I'm definitely getting a vibe that anyone that's interested in you, your potential love interest, definitely feel like you're somebody who's very supportive. That's the way that they're perceiving you. And they may also perceive you as having a lot of friends and a lot of people around you, whether it's like your female friends, your male friends, or just potential love interest. So they kind of see you as being highly sought after by other people. With this moon energy, this is kind of interesting. So I definitely can kind of see where maybe for people who don't know you very well, you can come across as kind of mysterious. I think that you guys are probably very deep emotionally, which goes back to that, you know, that message of the dusty rose of emotional maturity that we were picking up on. So you could become kind of like, because maybe you have a little bit of your guard up, people are maybe perceiving you as being a little bit mysterious. Like they can't quite put their finger on what it is about you that feels different or unique or special or maybe even off for some of you guys. I was going to say something else and it just flew out of my brain about the moon. Oh, okay. It came back to me. Something else that I'm getting here too is that I'm almost getting a vibe that with this moon card that a lot of your love interests may put you in this like fantasy category in a way. Like maybe they kind of view you, they have like daydreams about you, they fantasize about you. It's like a very like escape reality type of vibe that I'm getting from this moon. So that could be something going on as well. So we have enamored, love potion. And then we have up in smoke. That's interesting. So love potion is making a lot of sense with some of these cards I'm seeing, especially with that moon. I feel like you guys just have this tendency to like make people really obsess over you or make them really fall for you really quickly, because you guys do have a lot of great characteristics. I also can kind of see how, again, we're like, for some of you, I'm thinking of like bottled up emotion. So maybe with this 9 of Wands here, being kind of guarded and protected over yourselves, I feel like people could be seeing you as like, there's a lot of love here. There's a lot of potential here because they experience that with you. But again, it's bottled up. Maybe it's not as easy for them to always access it. Up in smoke, this is interesting. Maybe some of you guys smoke, literally. That's like one random message that's coming through. But up in smoke really talks about something just kind of going up in smoke. Like I'm getting a lot of that fantasy vibe again with this, where it's like, now it's here, now it's not, or maybe what I thought it was is a little bit different. So I do kind of think that there's something here around love interests who maybe, again, they put you in this like fantasy category. And then when they actually get to know you for real, they're like, that goes up in smoke. Like they see the reality for what it is, if that makes sense. We also have the unsaid. Interesting. Oh, and then we have friendship. So yeah, the unsaid is really all about like knowing someone feels a certain way, but they're not necessarily communicating it. So again, I think going back to this 9 of Wands and this love potion, I do feel like your love interests and the people who are into you are perceiving you as someone who doesn't necessarily say exactly how it is that they feel. So even though there's a lot of emotion here and there's this loyalty here and this commitment here with you, I see you as all these things. Going back to that moon card, it's like they can't always quite put their finger on how it is that you guys are feeling because maybe you aren't necessarily overtly communicating it. And we don't really have a lot of communication cards here. So I could definitely see that as being a thing. But what's awesome is that you guys definitely put out this perception of friendship. So definitely the people that are interested in you definitely feel like you're a great friend. Going back to that 3 of Cups. They definitely feel like you're somebody who's like a solid fixture in their life. You're loyal. You would do anything for them. You're always going to be there. But there is this aura of mystery that you guys definitely put out where people don't quite understand always how you feel about them. And that makes sense with this like friend energy too, because a lot of times when we're friends with people, it can be a little awkward, right? Like maybe you guys have a lot of friends in your space that actually like you. And so they're not sure, like, does pile one like me, or am I in the friend zone? Like that type of vibe. And so maybe sometimes that can cause any like interest to go up in smoke for some of you, because it's like they don't know where they stand. This is very interesting. So last card we have is the Pioneer, which I love. You guys have this bright yellow energy coming through. So this talks about being really creative and innovative. And it also talks about needing to move on and not be too stuck into things. Now, I definitely was picking up that you guys are definitely coming across as like a committed, stable fixture. But I definitely think in terms of this compulsive need to keep moving on, maybe because of some of this mysterious energy that you guys exude, people are perceiving you as maybe not being interested and wanting to just kind of move on to the next, even if that's not necessarily true. But what's also awesome about this Pioneer is that people definitely perceive you, your love interests perceive you as being really creative and innovative and wanting to try new things and explore and just have a lot of fun. So pile one, this definitely looks really positive. I'm super curious to kind of hear what rings true for you, which aspects of this reading feel really true to you from this reading. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I think these are all the messages coming through. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there, pile number 2. So if you guys chose the little rose quartz, we're going to go ahead and see how your potential love interests are perceiving you. What's the vibe that you guys are putting out there? So we're going to start with the Color Mage Oracle. And the first card we have is Mallow. It says, listen well and fully. We have Sky Blue, express more magic. And then we have Blush, cheerful love. So beautiful. So this is really sweet energy. One of the first things that I'm picking up on here for you guys, pile 2, is that the vibe you guys kind of put out there is somebody who is really expressive, maybe a little shy, but a really, really, really good listener. The Sky Blue is drawing my eye here, and this has to do with the throat chakra. The blue is the throat. So this has to do with the way we communicate. But what I kind of feel is that, you know, like one aspect of communication is actually being able to listen and hear. It's not always about talking. So I definitely feel like you guys come across as being really, really good listeners. And with this blush, the first thing I was thinking of was shyness. Maybe you guys come across a little shy sometimes as it pertains to like actually speaking your truth, which is why this says express more magic. It's almost like an advice for you guys to express yourselves a little bit more. But you are very strong, and people do perceive you as being a great listener. And just very cheerful, very high vibe, very sweet energy, but maybe just like slightly shy. Let's see what else comes through though. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, maybe not that shy. We have the Page of Wands. And then we have the Eight of Cups. So what is this telling us, pile 2? So with this Ace of Pentacles, your love interest or people who are kind of watching you or who are interested in you, they definitely perceive you as somebody who has a lot of potential. Maybe a lot of you guys are hardworking. Maybe you make good money and things like that. But they definitely are perceiving you as someone who has a lot of like growth potential in terms of a relationship goes. So they see you as someone who's like able to really build. They could really see themselves building like a foundation with, or building a solid long-term relationship or connection with over time. So yeah, lots of like potential type of energy. I also think that they see you as someone who's very grounded as well. And that makes a lot of sense for some of you guys with this like listening, this very calming energy is something I'm getting from your color mage. So I think that for some of you guys, you do put across this perception of being kind of a stable person. But on the other note, we also have the Page of Wands here, and this isn't necessarily a stable person. So this has to do with you guys being very fun, very communicative, very outgoing, energetic, passionate. So your love interests are definitely perceiving you as someone who is just like a ton of fun to be around, very adventurous energy here. And maybe just very youthful as well. Because the Page of Wands, when it comes to a relationship, this is going to be somebody who is like newer to love or who isn't really like looking for anything serious, okay? So I think you guys definitely put out this vibe that it's like, go with the flow, we're totally having fun, I'm very adventurous, but not necessarily putting across this super serious vibe or the super serious energy here. This Eight of Cups is definitely really interesting. So I'm getting a couple of messages from this, pile 2. I think that a lot of your love interests kind of perceive you as being someone who just like is on your own path, on your own journey. Again, going back to this Page of Wands, like not necessarily wanting to be super serious, because you guys are like walking toward your own light. You're walking toward your own enlightenment here with this Eight of Cups. I also think that for some of them, I think maybe the reason why we have this Ace, which really talks about potential, this could be because perhaps some of you guys put off this vibe of like walking away from connections if they don't serve you emotionally. You know what I mean? Which is not a bad thing necessarily. You shouldn't stick around for something that doesn't emotionally fulfill you, right? But there's definitely this element of like leaving that some of your love interests are perceiving about you, where you do walk away when something is no longer serving you. This also can have to do with travel too. Like both of these cards here, that's kind of a vibe that I'm getting, because Eight of Cups is about kind of going on a journey or traveling. Page of Wands is a very exploration type of energy, like we were saying. So maybe your love interests also are perceiving you as someone that likes to be on the go and just explore new places. Ooh, okay, so we have lip service. Okay, this makes sense. Up in the air. Okay, pile 2. Let me get you together. I'm just kidding. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense the way this is coming together. So with this lip service, you guys, what this really talks about is saying things that sound really good, that sound really sweet, but maybe not being the most sincere, okay? And that kind of makes sense because the Page of Wands, like I was saying, this is someone that isn't necessarily wanting like a stable relationship. They're really just having a good time and having fun and like wanting to explore. So perhaps if you guys are connecting with love interests that actually like want to root something and ground something into reality with you and build, they may be perceiving this very free-spirited energy that you have as lip service. And especially if you guys kind of have this tendency to walk away when things get boring for you, or we're walking away because like maybe there's something more interesting over there, or we're not into it, right? I could definitely see like if there's an issue here with like the words not matching the action, your person might perceive you as being a little bit like insincere and unstable, okay? And that's again why we have this up in the air. So I feel like you guys might have a tendency to leave your love interest hanging, which again, it's no worries. Like if you guys are not necessarily wanting to attract a long-term connection, like there's nothing wrong with this. So I just want to pace that out for you. But again, this is just how they're perceiving you. This is how they are feeling your vibes. However, we do have Sweetheart, which is beautiful. So they do perceive you as being like very romantic, very sweet, again, with that blush energy. I do think that you are somebody who does inspire your love interest to treat you well and to treat you with respect, you know, because we have this masculine here offering this gift of flowers. So people really like you. They're really into you. Isn't that always how it is? It's like whenever we're not that into someone, they're always into us. All right. And then over here we have Reckless. That's interesting. So yeah. So again, this just talks about like really marching to the beat of your own drum and doing whatever it is that you want to do that feels good to you, pile 2. So yeah, I definitely can see that you guys like a lot of excitement in your relationships here, because if you look at this card, this is like someone's literally lighting off this dynamite. Okay. So I think that your love interest is kind of perceive you as being this, you know, you need to have a lot of excitement in a connection. And if it gets boring, I do think that you guys may have this tendency to walk away. And that's definitely something that love interests are picking up on. And then finally, we have the Detective. That's interesting. So this talks about great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. I think that that makes a lot of sense, you guys, because When I think of this Eight of Cups, this is about seeking the truth. This is about going on a journey, trying to find answers elsewhere. So I do believe that your love interests are perceiving that curiosity piece from you. But again, like look down here on the shadow side, this talks about falsifying information, going back to that lip service. So I would just kind of ask yourselves like, you know, is there something that you guys can do differently to maybe be a bit more authentic to how you're feeling? Because I do think that there is this energy coming through here of your love interest feeling like maybe you're not as sincere. Maybe your actions are not always aligning with the words. And so they kind of feel like they're left hanging here when they're dealing with you. Very interesting, pile 2. So I think that those are all the messages that are coming through right now for you. So please let me know in the comment box down below which aspects of this reading resonated the most with you. I'm super, super curious. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to view this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi there, group number 3. So if you guys chose this little purple cube, let's go ahead and see what kind of vibes you guys are putting out there to your love interests. So I'm going to start with your Color Mage Oracle. So the first card that we have is Spinach, Toughen Your Spirit. We have Cyan, Speak the Truth at All Times, beautiful. And then we have Firefly. This talks about illumination. Pile 3, pile 3. So immediately what I'm getting from all 3 of these cards kind of collectively, I definitely think that your love interests are perceiving you guys as being very honest. We talk about truth. We talk about illumination. Illumination talks about, you know, illuminating, showing the light, shining a light onto something. And then we have the Spinach card, which talks about toughening your spirit. So I'm definitely getting this impression that a lot of people perceive you guys as being extremely truthful and honest, almost blunt. Honestly, is like something that I'm getting here. Maybe for some of you guys, you come across as just very blunt. So you're speaking from the heart. The green does have to do with the heart chakra. You're speaking your truth. You're speaking from the heart, but it definitely could sometimes come across as just very truthful, almost blunt. You're not sugarcoating it, okay? I do feel that people see you as someone who moves with integrity, though, because speak the truth at all times. This is like being totally authentic to yourself, being totally honest about how you're feeling, no matter whether it's going to bother someone else or not. You're very protective over your energy. Really good boundaries is also something that I'm getting here. So yeah, very honest, very solid, strong throat chakra. And again, with this Firefly illumination, this is just about you guys shining the light onto things. Maybe some of you guys are light workers as well. So you're really good at like showing people the truth of a matter. And I'm definitely getting an extremely confident energy from these cards as well, pile 3. So I definitely feel that your potential love interests or the people who find interest in you see you this way. They see you as being extremely confident. For some of you guys, they may also know that you guys have maybe gone through a hard time recently or in your past. Maybe you guys are very vocal about that, or they just know about your history. So this is kind of something that they think about when they think of you, okay? Okay, so we have the Four of Swords. We have the Fool. And then we have the Magician. Very cool. So maybe some of you guys are Gemini. I don't know why. I think the Magician, I think of a Gemini, and Four of Swords is an air sign as well. Doesn't necessarily have to be though, but what I'm getting from this Four of Swords, you guys, is that potential love interests really view you as being someone who is good, again, with boundaries, like protecting your energy, protecting your space, really being about healing. And what's really catching my eye here is this little heart. You see how her heart is like on a string? It's like it's healing itself a little bit. I'm almost getting a vibe that you guys might wear your heart on your sleeve, or like thinking about this spinach energy, which is green. It is heart chakra. So it's like, however your heart is feeling, I think that you guys say it. But I also think that you guys are coming across as being more like in this healing space right now, or needing at least needing your time to kind of just like be solo and recharge. Maybe some of you guys are actually very introverted. That would make a lot of sense too. But yeah, they see you as someone that's kind of just like to themselves at times, or at least just needing that moment to take a mental break from having a bunch of people around them. I'm also kind of being drawn here to how she's in her own nest. So maybe for some of you guys, you like to spend time at home a lot or just spend time in your little space. And they definitely can see that in you. But we do have the Fool and the Magician here, which is really awesome energy. So you guys definitely are coming across to your love interest as being very like carefree and just like adventurous and fun at times, and not necessarily wanting or looking for anything super serious is kind of the vibe that I'm picking up on here. Same here with this Magician energy. I'm almost getting this vibe that maybe like the people who are finding you interesting at this moment, like they can kind of see that you're more focused on working on other things. You know, Magician is all about like manifestation. And again, with this Four of Swords, I'm just getting this vibe that maybe you guys are not necessarily, you're at least putting out this vibe that maybe you're not necessarily looking for love. You're putting out a vibe that you're working on yourself or working on other things that are important to you. But you do have a lot of charisma, and I definitely can see with that Magician card how like people would perceive you as being very charismatic and, you know, fun to be around with that Fool. But again, there's definitely kind of a lack of putting out a serious vibe. Like I want a serious connection is basically what I'm saying. So we have the Love Line revived. Ooh, and then we have Autumn. That's interesting. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Okay, so this is crazy, you guys, because look at this. Remember how we were talking about this heart almost like on this string, and then this is a heart with a heart line next to it. It's like very interesting synchronicity here with these two totally different decks. So I'm definitely getting this vibe that the people that are interested in you, your love interests, are looking at you as being in this place of healing for sure. Kind of goes back to that spinach card of toughen your spirit. Like maybe you guys have been through something recently and that's why you're in this Four of Swords mode, like taking that time out. So they definitely see that in you. Like you're in this place of healing. And that's definitely coming through here with the Autumn energy, because the Autumn is kind of about like cooling down. It's about allowing things to change. And I think that you guys are definitely putting off this vibe of like going through a transition right now, creating something new for yourselves. And so I think when it comes to love, it's like you're open, but like it's got to be light and airy. And that's the way that they're perceiving you. Look at this. We have taking out the trash. So funny. These cards crack me up. And then we have who's walking who. So yeah, you guys, I don't know if you're intending to put this out there or not, but you guys are definitely putting out this energy of not, like you're putting out this energy more of like self-love and self-preservation and healing and being more focused on self than you are focused on love, okay? That's coming through really strong in this reading. So again, I don't know if you guys are intending to come across that way or not. If you are, then great. If you're not, then just this is something to be aware of if you're wanting to attract love. We have taking out the trash. So this talks about like emotional healing, clearing out your space. This also talks about self-love, healing. This also talks about like dumping someone and taking out that trash, right? It says finally dumping that loser. So people are definitely seeing in you that you are moving through this healing journey right now and trying to kind of cleanse your space and get right within yourself. We have who's walking who. So this is all about power dynamics. So I think that maybe perhaps you guys come across as, there's a lot of different messages coming through here. I think that for some of you, this is about you needing to kind of feel like you're in control of where relationships go right now. And that could just be because you're in this protective space. I'm also getting like a strong boundaries energy with this, which is something that was coming through at the beginning here. But there's also messages on this card about like being resistant or unenthusiastic. And so that's definitely something that can feel like it's in alignment with some of the other messages that we're seeing here. But definitely something here about like boundaries, power dynamics here. Yeah. Okay, last card. This is beautiful. So we have Mother. So you guys still, even though you might be moving through something right now and people are picking up on that, you guys definitely still put out this energy of being very nurturing and kind and caring and like being a literal like caretaker or mother. People definitely see that in you. And so I think that, you know, you guys still have a lot of great qualities and characteristics here. But I think that people are just noticing that you might be moving through some changes in your life and that you're not necessarily interested in doing something really serious when it comes to dating right now. So like I said, pile 3, if you're not intending to put that out, here's just, you know, a snapshot of what that's looking like so you're more aware. But if you are attempting to put that out there, then I think that's great because, you know, self-healing and being focused on being the best version of you is the best way to attract in the right type of partner that you guys truly deserve, okay? Whew. So I think those are all the messages coming through pile 3. I'm definitely very, very interested to hear which aspects of this resonated with you. So please drop me a comment down below in the comment box and let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there, pile number 4. So if you guys chose this little orange crystal, we're gonna go ahead and see what kind of vibes you're putting out there to these potential love interests. So I'm gonna start off with your Color Mage Oracle. So here we've got Lotus Pink. We have the Sage. And then we have the Jade. I love this, pile 4. One thing that I want to touch on here with this orange crystal is I do feel that you guys might be turning heads a lot. Like I think that people probably think you're very beautiful, really attractive. They definitely notice you because when I think of this orange color, I definitely think of that person that really just exudes that vibrant, fun energy. So that's one thing I wanted to say really quick. But from your cards, we have a lot of heart chakra here. Pink and green both have to do with your heart space. So what I'm getting from this pile 4 is that you guys definitely come across as very kind and very compassionate as well. The Lotus Pink, this talks about the goddess of mercy here. So I definitely think that you guys are really forgiving. I think that you guys are, I think you're very forgiving and very compassionate. That's the way that people are perceiving you. And with this wisdom energy, I do think that people, your love interests almost kind of look up to you in a way. Like maybe you guys have really been through a lot in your life and you have all of this really great knowledge within you because you've learned from the past. And I think that's why you guys might be so forgiving in nature, because it's like you just understand how to look at the bigger picture of things and knowing that like hanging on to stuff doesn't help anybody, right? So I definitely think that people see you, your love interest perceive you as being very compassionate, kind, wise, knowledgeable, and I think also like following through. So like going after what your heart tells you to do with this Jade energy, with Act Now. You follow through on your promises. You take action on the things that you love. So we have the 3 of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Wands. Ooh, and then we have the High Priestess. Yeah, so you guys are definitely very desirable. Like people definitely, when they see you, they feel that you're very, like if people don't really know you and they're just kind of looking from the outside in, or maybe even if they do know you, I feel like you are perceived as someone who's a little bit mysterious. Maybe someone that's a little bit introverted at times, a little bit to yourself. You're not necessarily showing your hand, you know what I mean? Like, so people really like that because it's intriguing. They want to get to know you. They want to kind of figure you out. And I also think, going back to this orange crystal, that you're very attractive. Like people just find you very desirable and attractive, and they like are drawn to you like a magnet, kind of just very curious energy is what I'm picking up on here. And I'm looking here, I feel like you guys definitely exude this very Zen sort of energy. Maybe people know that you guys are intuitive or empathic. Maybe some of you guys are readers or healers, something like that. You definitely exude this very Zen type of energy, and people kind of like that. They kind of pick up on that. Very laid back. But again, like going back to this wisdom energy with the Sage and the High Priestess, it's like people know that you guys know a lot. You know what I mean? Like they definitely respect the fact that you guys have a lot of knowledge, you have a strong intuition. That's definitely something that comes through here. And with this Ace of Wands, I definitely can see this as people feeling very attracted to you. Ace of Wands is that very like passionate kind of sexual energy. So I definitely think that people perceive you as being very attractive. Like you're someone that turns people on, quote unquote, whether that's mentally, which I think it is, because I'm really being drawn to how this flame is here in the head, but it could be physical as well. This also tells me that your love interest perceive you as being very like creative, or they perceive you as being someone that they can have a lot of chemistry with, because when I think of Ace of Wands, I think of that like chemistry type of relationship. And we also have the Three of Pentacles here. So this is about being able to work well together with others. So maybe you guys are always like working and that's kind of how they perceive you, or they perceive you as someone that is like a leader in charge of a group, or maybe just having a lot of people around you. Maybe you guys work with people a lot and that's just something that people notice about you. Ooh, we have the Real Deal. I love it. And then we have Stars Align, Favorable Outcome. So with this Real Deal, your love interest and people who are into you definitely perceive you as someone that is like wifey or hubby material. Like you are somebody that they want to put a ring on it. So they definitely take this, they take you seriously. You know what I mean? They appreciate you for who you are. They know that you're a very elevated type of person. You're someone that is like, they view you as like marriage material, okay? With the Stars Align, Favorable Outcome, I do kind of get this vibe that for some of you guys, maybe you kind of put off because of how like mysterious you are and how wise you are. And I feel like people literally look at you as a goddess. You know what I mean? I do feel like there's this energy of almost maybe you're a little bit unattainable to some people, because when I think of the stars aligning, I think of like, well, it's not happening right now, but it will happen when the stars align. You know, like there's this hope that you inspire in people that like when the timing is right, they can get you. But maybe there's a little bit of anxiety for some of these people to actually step to you because they know they're going to have to come correct. Does that make sense? But I also think too that people perceive you as like, you know, again, like this real deal, like being with you is a favorable outcome. Like they feel really lucky when they get to connect with you in love, because it's like finally the stars have aligned to give them what they deserve or what they want. So we have Made with Love, so cute. And then we have Blowing Bubbles, very sweet energies here. So you guys are definitely being perceived as someone who is very caring, very sweet, very supportive as well. That kind of comes through with that Three of Pentacles too. Maybe you guys like to give gifts. Maybe some of you guys like to cook, but there's definitely this perception of you as being very sweet and kind and sentimental and like always wanting to contribute and support when you're in a connection. We also have Blowing Bubbles, which tells me that you guys like to have a lot of fun and that just be in flow, go with the flow, be in the moment. So people, I think, definitely perceive you as that, like someone who's just very carefree, very fluid, like not worrying so much about like the outcome. You just kind of allow things to flow the way that they flow. And then our last card, pile 4, we have the Samaritan. Okay, so this talks about helping others. Yeah, I mean, this really makes sense, you guys, because at the beginning of your reading, we were picking up on all this compassionate energy that you guys have within you. And so this is just telling me that love interest and the people you guys connect with, people who are interested in you, they definitely feel that you are like putting off this vibe of always wanting to help others. They see that in you. They see you as being very generous. They see you as that type of person that like would never walk past like a homeless person on the street. You know what I mean? Like you would always stop and like give money or stop and say hello or something like that. So they definitely are seeing you guys as being a very kind, compassionate person that always, again, wants to be there to contribute and help others. So pile 4, those are all the messages that are coming through for you. I'm definitely very curious to know how these messages resonated with you specifically. So please drop me a comment down below in the comment box and let me know. Thank you all so much for taking the time to view this video, and I will see you in the next one.